Hello, and welcome to everything you need to know about Little Nightmares is a puzzle horror game where you have to parkour, push tons of stools, and ultimately learn that the character you are playing is an absolute dick. So join me as I tell you everything you need to know about the world of Little Nightmares, and maybe give you a big nightmare along the way. In this game, you roleplay as a midget. It's like you climbed up Jack's beanstalk straight into the 7th ring of hell. Default controls are WASD for movement, left shift for sprint, and for lighter, because there's no better way to burn the horrors of this game into your brain.
How's it going, guys? Oh shit, wrong video.
Of course, it could also be useful for starting fires and channeling your inner. The most vital control is your left click for grab. This will inevitably become your favorite button, and you should use it to the same extent as Snoop Dogg uses marijuana. If you're playing this on controller, you can unsubscribe from my channel right now. This was of course a joke, and I just had a harder time. This is a somewhat inexplicable scenario that will definitely not come into play with other games.
No, I died!
The puzzles in this game are hard enough that you may derive more pleasure from repeatedly jumping off a cliff. Here, you may be tempted to Google the solutions, which I definitely never did, but then you won't get the full satisfaction of showing the game the extent of your genius intellect. The DLC provides probably the hardest puzzle elements, which is like 5 puzzles for the price of 1, but more on that later. While I'll complain about getting stuck in certain chapters, that's the point. Some of the puzzles could be compared to the struggle of a colorblind person as in telling the difference between red and green, but the challenge of overcoming the nightmarish puzzles is part of the fun. And oh, how I love the surge of dopamine. Speaking of struggling to see, this game is dark. Trying to record footage for this video proved difficult, as at some points I could have just slapped a plain black screen on the video and you wouldn't know the difference. Oh, hello friend. Parkour elements in this game mess with your idea of depth. You thought you lined up that jump right?
Nope.
And now you have a first-class ticket straight to the black void of hell. Having trouble walking on boards? Well, that's your problem, and probably a skill issue, and not the fact that these boards are tiny, and this game is so dark that Slenderman himself would be scared. I broke this child's legs more times than One Piece has episodes. But don't worry, you'll respawn close, so you can break those toothpick legs yet again and secure your future as a permanent wheelchair resident. You could be caught in a time loop, just like the... You play as a character named Six, who always seems to be hungry, and Six cures this desire by stealing a random stranger's food in the cafeteria, eating a random rat who skipped arm day, and the blood of a small child.
Hey, you want my bratwurst?
I have forgotten to mention, she's a vampire. Starting a new game will present you with a pretty woman growing closer and closer. I don't think this is Genshin Impact. Six wakes up from this apparent nightmare on a suitcase, and proceeds into a new nightmare down a hallway. In an attempt to make this game brighter, Six the lamp and realizes she's going to have to enter the sewers and meet Pennywise the clown. Upon going further, Six enters a room where legs are dangling from the ceiling above a chair, so naturally, she steals the chair to open a door. We'll save the lore on these elongated legs for a different video. Elongated is what this game does well, because Six's first encounter with a boss is the janitor. The janitor is about as proportional as the art for Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That is to say, he's not. His elongated arms allow him to reach high places and grab Six from great distances, but his blindness prevents him from being one of the most OP bosses in this game. Because if this monstrosity had eyes, 6 wouldn't be able to move without getting stuffed into this guy's mystery bag. After a few encounters with the janitor, 6 has her first hunger pang. These hunger pangs will not be explained, so if you're expecting some solid answer about it in this video, you are sorely mistaken. Time for 6 to disobey Moses and break the 7th commandment. Oh, that's new. After solving puzzles and getting frozen into rock, 6 has her second hunger pang. Claustrophobia activated, 6 breaks free of the cage and proceeds onward, where the janitor will not leave her alone.
Run.
In the final chase scene, 6 ends this man's whole career. To say he's not happy would be putting it lightly.
Emotional, damn it!
Feeling no shame, 6 has her third hunger pang, where she devours a rat who forgot that rat traps existed in this universe. Oh, you again. Conveniently, the next area is a kitchen. Good thing 6 is hungry. Right? 6? The twins that work in the kitchen are 6's next encounter in the game. These twins cook food for the guests on the Maw. If I had $1 for every health code violation these twins broke, I might be able to afford a new computer that can run Jedi Survivor. After making mystery sausage, 6 is chased by the twins, but escapes while they helplessly fill bottles. These guys pitch as well as Reese Worthington from Backyard Baseball. Also, fun fact, the Maw is actually a big boat. Because why not? Next up is Nikado Avocado. Seriously. But the fact that these gluttonous guests are fat is not the point. Nor the fact that these guys are rich and probably pay good money to eat food and have an unhealthy amount of orgies. I am uncomfortable. 6 has to escape these guests and not get eaten. And with all this food around her, you'd think she would try to steal some for her hunger pangs. But nope. Tonight we feast on Cult Baby. After feasting on the flesh of a child, 6 decides to confront the pretty lady we saw at the beginning of the game. The lady is the final boss and chapter in the Little Nightmares game. Being the kind soul we are, we present the lady with a gift. Unfortunately, the lady is an ungrateful and breaks it. Retaliation is to be expected, so of course... This deed gives 6 the powers of Ascension, which come with the ability to Dyson suction the souls out of people's bodies. We've moved on from appetizers to the main course. As 6 leaves, she sucks off souls on her way out, leaving her more powerful than ever before. Oh yeah, there's a DLC. Well, actually, there are 3, but they're all the same story and each $3.99 or $9.99 if you buy them all together. You can also buy the soundtrack for $4.99. But let me tell you, the DLC's puzzles are harder, the environments are darker, and the chance for certain death is at least 75% higher. This time you play as a little boy known as the Runaway Kid. Runaway Kid enters the depths of the Maw where his grandpa is taking a 20-year bath and has a bad habit of waterboarding children.
When the animation works.
Here we introduce him to a new form of alternative therapy called toaster bath. Consider your back pain removed. Runaway Kid befriends a bunch of cult babies where he takes advantage of communism and puts his new cult friends to work in the coal mines. All so he can have a free elevator ride. Well, that was worth it. The Runaway Kid also has some encounters with the lady, and these encounters all provide some interesting lore. Turns out the lady is dead ugly. She makes the melting Wicked Witch of the West look good by comparison, and she can also turn little children into cult babies. You see where this is going? Yeah, the Runaway Kid was the cult baby 6 feasted on. Another thing to add to the list of ungodly acts. If you consider yourself an achievement hunter like me and love wasting your life to achieve pointless computer points, then look no further. A majority of this game's achievements are very achievable, while others may require a bit of Special help. There are 5 story achievements, which if you take the game chapter by chapter, will be easy to achieve. 3 collectible achievements are present within the main game, and are made very easy with a few YouTube searches. There are 5 secret achievements in the main game. Going down the line, Elusive requires you to evade capture 6 times while an enemy is chasing you. Highly Sprung is an achievement where you have to jump on a bed 6 times and pretend you aren't dead inside. 6's Song's only requirement is that you walk back and forth on a piano, emulating the toddler we all know you really are. Kitchen Hand can prove to be difficult. There is a pot in the back of the kitchen in which you need to throw 3 ingredients without dying. Unfortunately, you can't get spicy with it and throw in some salt, pepper, or gas. The hardest achievement to get in the game is Hard to the Core. This requires you to speedrun the game in under an hour, without dying.
So this is also a speedrun tactic. Shit.
Now, this might sound daunting at first, but there are a few tricks that will allow you tight butt cheeks to loosen a bit in your chair. First off, know the design layout of each level.
Bit of a rip there, yeah. No!
Another strategy, unless you have masochistic tendencies, involves saving to menu after speedrunning each chapter and finding your little nightmare saves folder. Then you copy the saves folder to your desktop. This way, if you fail the next chapter, you can replace the file. Now, the DLC achievements are pretty simple. There are 3 story achievements, 1 for completing each chapter of the DLC, and 3 collectible achievements, also paired with each chapter. The secret achievements in the DLC have a lot to do with death. Fun and Games Ahead requires you to take a head and throw it into the bucket. Ashes to Ashes requires you bring a book to a faraway bookshelf so you can push a jar of ashes off the table. Ashes in the Maw is probably the hardest, which requires you to grab a gnome from the janitor's workbench, bring it through several rooms to throw into a furnace, and again, no getting caught. All in all, there are 22 achievements. Getting them all means that you too can take pride in knowing that you are better than 98.6% of players. Now, would I recommend this game? Though at times it seemed like I was talking trash about the game, it was a solidly enjoyable experience. Figuring out all the puzzle elements in this game is really rewarding, and the game does a good job of rewarding the player for going off the beaten path. Hopefully, you found this video helpful in your own little nightmare's journey, where you too can commit egregious sins in the eyes of God. And remember, fun of your roofing at your vet.